One thing I really wanted to do through the ice this winter was catch a hybrid, and it didn't happen.
I mean, you were like right there when it happened too.
I was multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had to take a little bit of a potty break there, but what we're talking about is the wipers through the ice. So Spencer's never caught one.
Not because of lack of effort either. I just don't have the touch. Kith's got the touch. I don't have the touch.
Fishing Kith literally got me on him last year. The first time I ever
What
caught
a guy.
What a nice
guy. He
guy.
got you on him.
He got me on him. And in one trip, I literally caught, I think, 4 or 5 wipers through the ice.
Yeah.
And it was, let's just say this. If you catch a wiper in open water, just imagine a 4 or 5 pound wiper in open water. Just imagine catching it with a 32-inch ice pole.
I dream of it. I don't even imagine. I have dreams.
Like, yeah, once I caught one, it's like, why do I even ice fish for anything else? It's catfish. I'll give it to catfish.
Sure, they fight pretty good.
I haven't caught a catfish through the ice.
Did you catch a catfish with your buddy's teardrop in his mouth yet?
No.
With Matt's teardrop lure in its mouth from ice fishing?
Wait.
Remember when he got plowed and just broke off before he could even grab his fishing pole? So to paint the picture, we were ice fishing for catfish on this body of water, and Kith's buddy Matt had a rod down in a rod holder on the ice, and it gets hit like a open water blue cat. And if you don't know blue cats, they hit a bait like it owes them money and just smoke it. And that doesn't happen when you're ice fishing very often. Usually things hit tentatively because the water's cold, but whatever this was hit it and buried the rod into the ice hole, and drag was coming off, and as it was coming off, it snaps the line. And Kith's been back there since, and I've been hoping that he catches this freight train.
Yeah, he had the rod in a rod holder.
Yeah.
Where was this at?
Oh, top secret.
Is it west side?
It's around.
Or
Yeah.
in the middle or south or something.
It's around.
Yeah, it's around.
It's around.
It's a secret body of water that has a pretty impressive channel cat population.
And then I had 6 bites that day with
And
0.
I had 0 bites, by the way, which I ice fish for catfish with a lot of people this winter, and it's like the catfish swam around my bait to eat other people's.
We caught the same amount of fish that day.
0.
If that makes you feel
Well,
any
that
better.
makes it more painful, because when you were getting these bites and botching them, I'm like, if one would just bite mine, I'd teach him a lesson.
Like, yeah, if you got a bite, you would have caught one, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think. All right.
I execute.
Ah.
Yeah, that's the difference between me and you. You got the numbers, but when I get the chance, I execute.
I think this ice season, we got to get him on a wiper through the ice. If he has,
For sure.
well, God,
I'm
man,
going to try my best. I'll be there. I'll be there around trying.
pretty exciting. I'm not gonna
He
lie.
knows where to go now.
Well, I think that's just one of multiple locations
Yeah, one of
that can
multiple.
produce.
Yeah.
I wonder where else we can go for wipers. We'll have to do some other.
So
Okay, 'cause
do our
that's-
homework.
Yeah, do our homework.
Yeah.
Because I think that spot got posted too.
Oh, you're talking about. So we took one of our friends, and he showed one of his friends,
That's how it works. That's why I don't tell anybody anything I do.
Yeah.
and then
And then that friend decided, hey, world of Facebook.
See, when I take somebody out, I always have a test spot, a spot that I don't mind giving up. And
Yeah.
it's the same spot for everybody. And if you don't go back or you don't take anyone back, then I expand a little at a time.
Yeah.
But with flatheads, it's like cutthroat.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, once you find a place that produces flatheads, as long as the river doesn't change, they're always going to be there.
yeah, and there's so many spots that a flathead could be, right?
Well, I mean, yes and no. Like, you'll learn that within that location, they could be posted up in very specific spots. So daytime, yeah, there's a lot of places they could be, but the general area is going to be the same as long as the river doesn't change. If there's a big brush pile or something like that, and it's there for a long time, they're going to be there for a long time. The two things that change that are, one, the river changes, where like a big flood, or the floods when the ice goes out, or the big ones when you have giant chunks of ice floating downriver and ripping brush piles off the bank like they get hit by a bus. But the other one is angling pressure. If somebody goes down there to this area that has fish in it and they're like, oh, the fishing's amazing, I'm going to take these home. There's so many flatheads. And then they take them home. But what they don't keep in mind is 90% of the fish are in 10% of the water. So this place that seems like it has this unlimited population of flatheads, it really, the river itself really doesn't. You just happen to on a spot that has the bulk of the population in there. So if you take all those fish home, you significantly impacted the waterway. And then therefore the fishing for everyone else.
I had no idea.
So
There's not that many of them, and anybody who argues with me, I'll argue all day, because I've been to places where the flathead population is significantly better than where we're at here in Iowa. I mean, just this week, I was on a trip in a different state, different waterway, and we caught 10 in one night. And I've never caught 10 in one night ever in my whole life. Right. And this was the first day fishing in this location. And that's just one of many stories like that.
What's the main reason, do you think?
Fishing pressure.
So it is.
There's not that there's an outrageous number of anglers in Iowa, but there's so little water to distribute anglers. Like there's the Des Moines River that runs through the middle of the state, and you have the Raccoon River off of that, and that's it. All these other states, you have all these other bodies of water to distribute anglers, where in the middle of Iowa, we're all on the same river.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I mean, it's not like hybrids. There's piles of them. Like somebody takes a cooler full of hybrids home. It's whatever. They're going to stock way more next year, and they're going to grow fast. Flatheads, there's not very many of them. They kind of grow fast, but they kind of don't. Like there's a certain part of their Ella pop her head out.
Come on by. But for the people on video, they'll see. For the people on radio, we just had Spencer's wife popping in just a checkup on us, make sure we're okay.
Make sure we're still topside.
Looks like she wanted to sneak by, but then saw us.
So what I was getting at is, at a certain point, they grow fast and then they slow down. So if you catch a 50-pounder, it could be 15 years old. It could be 30.
People keep flatheads to eat. I mean,
oh yeah, that's very deeply entrenched into the tradition of Iowa.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never. I think I've had one flathead I've tasted. I'm not a huge fan.
See, I think they're delicious, and I understand where people are coming from.
I'm more of a channel cat guy.
Oh, you got it backwards, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just because flatheads look weird doesn't mean they taste worse.
As I say,
I think that's the thing with a lot of people.
I love eating flatheads, and I'm not saying you shouldn't keep them, but most of your 10-pounders or below never survive long enough to reach 30 or 40 or 50 pounds. Like, nature's hard. Like, you grow, like, everyone wants to personify nature, and it's the roughest place you could ever imagine. Like, you camp out for a week. Imagine that being your life. And even then, on top of that, you are the apex predator camping out for a week. You don't have to worry about anything eating you. And so anyway, even a flathead has predators, and then disease and weather conditions and everything else. Most 10-pounders never see 30. So if you're going to keep one, keep that 10. That's probably never going to see 30. Plus you factor in like just the dynamics of the ecosystem and what it can support. You remove a 10, it doesn't impact the ecosystem as much as a 30. So you keep that 10, and then like don't feel bad about that. Keep that 10, flay them out. Make sure you get the belly meat, get the cheeks out of there. Cheeks are a delicacy. And when you eat the fillets, don't cook the whole fillet. Cut it into chunks, because the chunks fry up so much nicer. If you're going to eat the whole fillet, grill it. Grilling is the way to go.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The whole fillet of the flat.
You take that flathead and you put fish taco seasoning on it and put it on the grill, and it's phenomenal. Oh. And if you're going to fry it, cut it into little catfish nuggets. That's the way to do it.
Okay.
But if it's over 10 pounds, let that thing go, because there's not very many of them, and they're not easily replaced. It's not you throw the little ones back and they're going to grow up to be big. A lot of them are just going to die for a lot of reasons. But you let the big ones go, you keep the small ones, and then you sustain a population of trophies. If you keep the big ones and let the little ones go, you're going to sustain a population of little ones with a few trophies.
Makes sense, because that's what makes those bigger fish so much special, because not a lot of them get that big.
Right. I mean, for anyone who keeps a big flathead, think about how many trips you went on and didn't catch a big flathead, at least in Iowa. Other states are different. I agree. Maybe they need to be managed differently, but from what I've seen in Iowa, it's not the case.
I would say I was pretty relaxed when it comes to like fishing regulations in general.
You could keep 1,500-pound flatheads if you catch them per person. So us three here, we could keep 45 100-pounders legally.
That's crazy.
Just like fishing.
And people are like, you'll never have that happen. Well, no crap, because of our regulations.
Yes, that's why it doesn't happen.
Right. So that's my ethical decision, and I can't complain because I haven't done anything to change the regulations. I'm not going to crucify someone for keeping a big fish. If you keep a big fish or multiple big fish, you're in your legal right. And the only thing I can do is try to change the legality of it. If I truly believe in it, I should try to make a difference. I'm not going to tell somebody like, you're a bad person for following the law.
Yeah.
You know, like, how dare you for going the speed limit? Same type of deal. So if you keep them, more power to you, but I don't, and that's why. And maybe I'll write me a letter.
But even when they're that big, did it taste that good?
They do.
Even to that huge, like 30 pounds.
Unfortunately, they
really?
do. Yeah.
Holy shit.
But you keep all the 5 to 10 pounders you want. And if you butcher a flathead, you butcher a 10 pounder correctly, you're pulling 7 pounds of meat off that thing.
Holy cow.
Unless you give it to an Asian grandma and then she'll eat like the whole thing. Like a 10-pound fish, she'll probably get like 9 pounds of meat off of that fish.
And FYI, the head by itself, they make it to an amazing soup.
I could see that. Like you just boil it.
Like, even if like they grill it,
do you skin it? Skin it first?
No, they don't even skin it. No. Skin, they'll sit there and pick at the head. Like nothing goes to waste when it comes to an old Asian grandma eating fish.
Okay.
So at least it doesn't go to waste in regards to that, which is
guts are fair game too.
Yes.
Okay.
So like maybe 10-pound fish, 9.5 pounds of it.
See, now I want to try that because like I have like the mentality where I'll try anything once for food, you know, like spending time in South Texas. I was very cultured in different types of foods I'd never been around. And I would always try them. There were some of them that were delicious. There's some of them I was not a fan of, but at least I tried it and now I know.
Yeah.
Like menudo. You ever heard of that one?
Yep.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's basically cow intestine soup.
Yeah.
Oh man, gut stew.
Stew.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
Well, I had to try it, and I had some beers, and I was very hungry, and I tried it, and I still didn't like it. It's just more of a texture thing. Like you can feel the villi, like the.
You eat tripe, right?
Yeah, but that's not so much as.
True.
It's not as furry.
Whoa, furry. Well, there's a let's see, what's the tradition in like Southeast Asia, like Lao and Thailand? It's like when they butcher a cow, or is it a pig? Maybe both. But like the entrails are fair game.
Well, I'm a big fan of not wasting anything.
Yeah, I mean, most people should be, but a lot of people aren't.
There's I don't know if I told you this. There's a Meat Eater podcast I've been big into lately. Yeah. And they're doing they're not running for election, but they're doing like a write-in deal. It's kind of a joke. But one of the things that they say if they got elected as president would be they would make wasting turkey legs. Like you shoot a wild turkey and most people just breast it out and throw the rest of the bird away.
No.
Well, they would make throwing the legs away a federal offense. Well, and I'm guilty. Like I've killed birds, I've killed turkeys, and I've tried to keep the legs off one. And all I did was throw them on the grill, and they were tough and chewy and tendony. But what they do is they cut them off and they put them in broth and cook them in the oven for a couple hours, and it softens everything up.
Stew is the way to go.
Yeah.
To like, if you really want to
like squirrel.
Yep.
If you're gonna eat squirrel or rabbit, like you got to make stew or something along those lines.
That's like the best way to maximize an animal, I would say.
Yeah, and
put it in a stew.
I'm a
You
big
throw everything in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm a big fan of not wasting things. You know, if you're going to kill it, take advantage of everything.
Yeah. I agree. And I think, like you were just saying, stew, because slow cooking it tenderizes it.
Yes.
So it makes it palatable, I guess you can say.
Yeah. Drop a bush light in there.
Yeah.
That carbonation gets after it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, I waste a lot of fish. You could say like the way I eat fish compared to like a traditional.
When you fillet a fish, because typically when people just fillet, blah, blah, done, right? Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of wasteful if you really think about it.
Yeah. You're wasting all the meat around the head, right behind the head, the guts, all that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, don't waste part of the fish and then
Well,
go
then you'd be
out
kind
and
of a
fillet it.
hypocrite.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
I try my best not to be a hypocrite.
But if there's always like traditional methods of eating a fish. I mean, it's just convenience. Like it's easy just to fillet a fish, and then when you eat it, you don't got to think about bones. You just
Absolutely.
throw it in your mouth.
Well, convenience is a big part. And you go buy fish at the store, you're buying fillets. You're not buying a whole fish usually,
That's true.
unless you go to fish market somewhere. But I've never been to one of them.
Seattle. We'll take him to Seattle one year.
You
Have you been to Seattle?
I want to go out west and go catch steelhead in the rivers.
That would be bad.
I want to go
Because
to Oregon.
It would be like
Oregon.
channel catfishing, but you're catching 10 to 20 pound steelhead that jump out completely out of the water and make big runs. Because I don't know what type of fishing the majority of this audience listens to, but one of the funnest type of fishing that is excellent fishing in Iowa is you go hit small streams when the water's low. You and a buddy, you park one vehicle at one bridge, you drive upstream to the next bridge, and you walk the river. You make sure you have a big cooler that floats full of beer. And you take any rod you have, a bass tackle, some medium heavy gear. If you want to get the best, you get something a longer graphite fishing rod, and you take a slip bobber and you have like your baggie of bluegills or whatever you're going to chunk into cut bait, and you drift that float around outside bends and through riffles and deeper sections, and you whack and stack the channel cats. You just beat them up like 20, 30, 40, 50 fish.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's so much fun. They fight so hard. And that is an absolute blast. And to take that same concept with slip floats and apply it to steelhead would be a lot of fun. And that's what makes me want to go to Milwaukee one of these days and catch steelhead in the middle of winter, doing that same stuff, drifting floats with spawn bags and stuff like that.
Yeah. Lots of ideas that I want to try. Man.
I have lots of ideas, but not a deep enough pocket to make them happen.
And that's the thing. But you can make it happen once in a while. Like
Yes.
save up and plan ahead. And I think that would be your best bet to make those things happen.
I do go on trips. Don't get me wrong. That's one on the list that I haven't done yet. I go blue catfish in different places and stuff like that.
Just catching blue catfish is.
They don't fight that great though. You catch a 30 pounder, you don't. I mean, he hits it really, really hard. Like if you're drifting or trolling, he'll spin your kayak around.
Yeah.
If you're in a boat, he'll bury the rod and they'll be drag ripping. But as soon as you pick up that rod and start fighting him, unless he's really, really, really like 80, 50, 60, 70, 80, there's no more drag pulling after he hits it.
Okay, I've never caught a blue channel.
Do you plan on hitting Milford?
I will be
This
at
year?
Milford sometime this year.
I want to go.
Milford's where a lot of people go.
Yeah, it's a reservoir in Kansas, and I don't feel bad sharing this because they regulate the fishery very well.
Okay.
They do, yeah. They actually
Yeah.
stepped up the regulations.
Yes, they
lately.
did. And it makes me want to go there even more because they're a place that cares about their trophies, and it's cool to see.
It's stuff I want to see here in Iowa.
It won't happen.
Yeah.
Clientele's different.
Yeah.
If we had a bunch of people write in that we wanted regulations, sure. There you go. I challenge anybody listening to this to write a letter to your local legislation suggesting that we make stricter regulations on trophy catfish. And anybody who argues that we shouldn't do that and we're restricting their rights, that you can still keep fish. You can keep fish and promote a quality fishery while you're still getting enough fish to eat. Because I love eating fish. But from what I've seen, we don't regulate ourselves well enough to sustain a true trophy fishery.
Do you think it's just catfish, or do you think other species fall into that too?
You know, I balance the fact that our watersheds aren't great, because people argue with walleyes, but I don't, and I'm not a scientist, you know, I'm a freaking junior high science teacher. So take everything I say with a grain of salt.
You got more credibility than like me and him.
Yep.
Like we're just two dudes that
I'm just a dude, you know, I'm just a dude who hangs out with 13 and 14-year-old kids all day and talks trash to them, and it's a pretty good time. I can't complain. But for real though, like I don't think our waterways are suitable for a lot of trophy walleyes. I don't think our waterways are suitable for, well, actually they do okay on smallmouth.
How about them wipers? Since we talk about wipers a lot.
We have, and I think
They grow so fast though.
yes,
Like I think they are a fish that can genuinely sustain heavy fishing pressure, keeping pressure more so than a lot of other fish. Like a trophy flathead takes 15 to 30 years in our state. And there's a lot of variability on growth rates, but 15 to 30 years, even on the low end, is a decade and a half. Think about what you were doing 15 years ago. I was in freaking high school. I was a sophomore in high school 15 years ago, and to catch a 50-pounder that on the low end, let's just say 20 years, 2 decades, and to put a knife to that fish and end it, that fish that was born when I was 11 years old, and to know that it's not going to be replaced till I'm 51, to me, that's irresponsible to kill that fish.
it sucks.
Yeah, but you kill a 10-pound hybrid, and that fish might be 5 years old. That's like shooting a trophy deer. You know, you shoot a trophy deer, there's a new one in 5 years. You kill a trophy flathead, there's a new one in 2 decades.
Stuff I just learned.
Yeah.
No, seriously. I mean, that's interesting to look at in that perspective.
Yeah. And I'll go back, and maybe I'll be crucified for saying this. I'm not going to look down on anyone for doing it, because it's in their legal right. You have you have every right to do that. And I'm not going to talk trash on you. But me personally, I'm not going to do that. You know, like you do what you do, I'm going to do what I do, but you don't patronize what I do either.
Right. Yeah. That's like just going back to the hybrids. Like for me, you know, if I catch anything over 5 pounds, I'm throwing it back.
Yeah.
Even though, like you said, it doesn't take as long to replace that fish, but you know,
The bigger they get, the higher the likelihood of them reaching true trophy status is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the.
You know, you throw a 10-pounder back, a 10-pounder has a way better chance reaching 15 than a 5 does.
yeah.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I mean, use your best judgment within legality. Like we were always saying, like it's dude, you pay for your license. As long as you stay within limit, you know, keep and catch what you want, but use your best judgment. I think what we at the end of the day is saying, like, you want to catch that trophy, you can't get to 20, 30, 40 pounds if you keep taking all the 10, 15 pounders.
It definitely makes it tougher.
It makes it tougher.
does.
It makes it tougher. Same thing with any breed of fish. So even when it comes to like Kit was saying, like wipers, I mean, to catch a 15-pound wiper, you might want to let that 7, 8, 9-pounder go so they can possibly get there.
And then keep a dozen 2-pounders.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Go for it.
Yeah.
Keep all the 2, 3 pounds. It's just, in other words, use your best judgment. That's pretty much what we're preaching, I guess.
Don't say preaching. I hate that.
Sorry. Not preaching.
We're having a
what-
conversation
what-
about.
Okay, what we're having a conversation
Yeah.
about. But yeah, so I mean, once again, BFF here, we definitely appreciate having Spencer here.
I had fun, man. This is fun.
This was fun.
Yeah.
Can we do it again? That's what I want to
Please.
ask you. Okay, so
Please.
we'll definitely do this again. We got a chance to come up here, see where Spencer kicks it,
I do.
and learn a little bit about him, and get a chance to not even interview, just kind of just talk shit about fish and
I
beers.
wouldn't have it any other way.
So,
Yeah.
like I said, once again, thank you so much for being a part of being a guest with us. And if you have anything else to say, let them know. And other than that, I'll definitely put the links to his channel. You guys should all definitely check it out. It's pretty damn entertaining. Same thing with Fishing Kits. Amazing channels in regards for somebody who's getting into fishing or anything, just like myself, I really get a joy out of watching you guys fish. So just so you guys know, I literally watch you guys' channel because I do get a joy seeing the type of fish you guys catch, just the type of content that you guys provide. So definitely appreciative, guys.
It's fun, man.
All right. Till next time.
All right.